What's going on, everybody? This is Blockchain Bullz, and today we're going to take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency market, what we can expect moving forward, if we can even get our finger on the pulse to see if we have a way to understand what is going on, right? But this pullback, this correction, if you want to call it back, it was to be expected, but it wasn't to be welcomed, but it was also kind of like something we knew needed to happen because it was healthy. So there's a variety of different feelings that we have about it because, you know, it also could be the prick that pops the bubble, which is what everyone's concerned about, because if it sells off too fast, then everyone really becomes concerned. And when that happens, you know, we don't know how low we're going. All we know is that we have support around certain levels. We do know that we need to form support levels around the 30,000 mark at some point around here. But obviously, we're in a free fall, and right now we're kind of catching a little bit of support around the 31,000 range. That's as of right now, but that doesn't mean that it's going to hold. I mean, if you look back 1 week, we were around this same price, 30,975, about this time last week. Here we are reaching 30,632, sitting at 31. Kind of just riding sideways a little bit here at this point. We'll have to really ride sideways for a little bit. I mean, if we can ride sideways like this for a week or two, that would form a nice layer of support around 31,000. Also create a great buying opportunity before the next move up. But if we just keep falling off, what I'm really concerned about is these lower lows. So lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low over a 24-hour period. Like, we need to kind of form a high, a higher low, right? So you can see over the last 24 hours, every low is getting lower, which is a little bit concerning if you're just looking at it from a technical analysis perspective, obviously. Now, if we take it back here to the Bitcoin versus ETH, you can see ETH even sold off faster. Same with Litecoin. In fact, we're having a little bit of issue with these altcoins here recently, I would say, where the altcoins aren't really keeping up with Bitcoin, and then when they sell off, they're also selling off harder and faster. Now everyone says alt season, and I think we all want alt season because we know what that means, right? Alt season means that you get these possible 10x, 20x. Just because we want something doesn't mean it's going to happen, and that's what we've kind of seen here recently. Now, if we just get out of the technical analysis side of it, and we go and take a look at what people on Twitter are saying, I like to follow Tyler Winklevoss. I think he's he's definitely one of the original OGs of Bitcoin from when he went to Ibiza and, you know, decided to pick up some Bitcoin in a large $1 million purchase, millions of dollars. But he says, for everyone who missed 33K Bitcoin last time, now's your chance. So all the people who said, oh, I'll wait for Bitcoin to go on sale again. I'll wait for the dip. I'll wait for the crash. Watch. Now what they'll say is, oh, I'm waiting for it to go back down to 10,000. I'm waiting for it to go back down to 15,000 to buy. I'm waiting for it to go to 3K. I'm waiting for it to go to 5K. But, you know, everyone's got an opinion, including me. I mean, no one knows what's really going on except for probably the market makers. Those are the people who probably really know what's going on. Another person I really like to follow for insight, I like to follow the old G's, like old, you know, geeks, right? The guys who've been around for a long time. Those are the guys who really typically know what's going on, and Max Keiser is definitely one of those guys. These Bitcoin volatile days make me happy, like watching a baby Godzilla in the womb kicking and screaming to get out. It's great. You know, as he tweets, I like to read his original tweets, but Max Keiser definitely is someone that you should keep up with if you're trying to, you know, invest in Bitcoin. He's pretty much a Bitcoin maximalist. Yeah, you can see hash rate hitting new all-time highs. Bitcoin price follows HR, the hash rate, with a variable discount. Current BTC price is an attractive discount to hash rate. Accumulate. So Max is saying accumulate Bitcoin. He's not a big fan of other altcoins, so just be kind of aware of that. And maybe it's good advice to just stick to Bitcoin because then you don't have to do any research in all these other altcoins. Altcoins, at some point in an alt season, will look very appetizing, but long term, Bitcoin is the only one that really maintains stability, which puts coins like Ethereum and Polkadot kind of into an interesting situation, whether or not they can pull off what they're trying to do. So you're really speculating on what it is they're trying to build. So let's talk about Tether, because he did tweet about Tesla rally due to Tether, according to Nouriel Roubini. He's obviously joking, but because Nouriel Roubini always talks about Tether. Well, you have Tether here. Tether mints record 2 billion USDT in 1 week. Well, the U.S. Treasury just printed up about $1 trillion in stimulus, like 900 and some billion, right? So Tether printed $2 billion backed tokens last week, a new record for the leading stablecoin project. Over 24.6 billion tethers now circulate across Ethereum, Tron, and Bitcoin's Omni layer per data from Coinmetrics, up from 4.8 billion 1 year ago. People consider this Tether money printing to be really an issue and behind the rise and I guess the fall here of the Bitcoin price, which makes it to some unstable. Make of it what you want. There is going to be some news coming out about Tether, more likely later on in the week, so you will want to keep an eye on that. But per Tether, Bitfinex CTO Paulo Ordino, new deep-pocketed institutional Bitcoin investors like MicroStrategy and Rougher Invest executing over-the-counter OTC buy orders has also caused significant USDT supply growth. MicroStrategy being Michael Saylor. For those of you who don't know, he's decided to take his MicroStrategy stocks company and buy Bitcoin with it, and his stocks are really soaring in the MicroStrategy publicly traded company. So you can see this Tether thing. Keep an eye on that. That's coming up. Another thing that's really interesting news that might not be such good news. It's going to be big news, but it's not necessarily going to be good news. So here on Business Insider, here's why the approval of a U.S. Bitcoin ETF would send the cryptocurrency tumbling in the near term, according to JP Morgan. Now, JP Morgan probably is not the most ideal place to get investment advice from when it comes to cryptocurrency. I don't even know if they're the best company to get investment advice from, period, because it seems like they're so highly controlled that really, if you invest in anything as an institution or as a retailer, you're not going to get the returns that the institutions get. It's like, you'd follow the advice of JP Morgan as a retailer, you pretty much just break even or you lose. You don't really gain too much when you take the advice of JP Morgan. Just saying, that's been my experience of what I've observed. But here you go. Institutional investors largely invest in the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust for regulatory reasons instead of directly buying Bitcoin. But the trust touts a premium to the underlying token. So the SEC is expected to authorize a Bitcoin ETF in 2021. The introduction of such a fund could drive institutional investors out of Grayscale Trust into the premium. So the trust right now is another reason why Bitcoin is going up. What that basically means is instead of institutional people buying Bitcoin directly from the markets, they go to Grayscale or MicroStrategy, and MicroStrategy and Grayscale buy the Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies in the sense of Grayscale, because Grayscale Trust actually has quite a few different trusts. I believe they even had XLM, XRP. I think they had Litecoin. Don't quote me on that, but that's a big thing if they pull out a Grayscale and they just go into the ETF. So that's why they're saying kind of keep an eye on that. That's what JP Morgan's saying, and it's possible. I mean, it seems like JP Morgan's more interested in telling us something that fits their manipulation of the market. So they'll say, when they're saying things, they're kind of it's kind of like a hint towards what they plan to manipulate, how they plan to manipulate. I'm not trying to start any junk here, but you guys get the idea. I mean, JP Morgan they don't really care about it, the retailers. They care about the institutions, and that's just the way it is. So, anyways, let's go back to check out the price of Bitcoin here. You can see it is up now to 38,846. So we are bouncing crazy up, down, all around, right? Let's just take a look now at the daily here. You can see we were as high as 38.5, and now we're down to 32.6, and a low. I think it looks like we got just to 30,632 for a low. We are going to have to, in order to see a confirmed correction, we're going to have to probably hit around 33 and then hold that line. And then we'll have to breeze back up around 35,000 to kind of get a little bit of safety net in place for confirmation that we're doing okay. If we keep breaking down into the 20s, that's when it gets a little bit crazy. I mean, this is kind of a crazy level. Like I said earlier on the video, the area where we have the strongest support is going to be around, I mean, it's really kind of just a free fall from here. I mean, we had a little bit of support build around 25 to, I mean, I wouldn't even call that support. That was just a slow grow, which was a healthy growth. This was more of a parabolic move. But it looks like around here, I would say in the $20,000 to $25,000 range, we should see a little bit more support. But if we hit that level and we support there around 1 to 2 days, but then we keep breaking down, that's when it's going to get a little bit crazy. And I don't think we have really too much support in this market, honestly, until we get around right here. And this is just below 20K. We had a pretty decent period, I would say a 2-week period where we stayed just below 20. We were like, are we going to cross 20? There was like a psychological resistance that was in place. And then if we break down beyond that, you would be looking at a pretty decent support line around just under 10,000. That's where the real support is for this. Previously, you would say the real support was around about 3,500 if you remember back in March when we really broke down. Look at 5,004. I'm surprised we only broke down to 5,004 in that period because we did have a support level around 35. But I would say right now 10K is our strongest report or support level in a free fall. But you could make a suggestion that just below 20K we had some support levels, but you could see this parabolic move. I mean, I would hate to have to see it break down that low because that would just not be good. That volatility is not good for newbies, especially people who bought over in the 30K range. We don't really want to see it break down to 20s or below 20 because that's just not going to work out good for the newbies, and that's going to create a bad vibe for us. But running sideways in 30K, I think overall would be a good thing. If we can hold 30K and more, I would say for at least a week running sideways before we advance again back up into the 40s and beyond, that would be great for us. Even if it's 2 weeks, just running sideways, building support in the 30s would be fantastic for this bull market. This is a little bit too quick of a sell-off. I mean, it's a 25% sell-off thereabouts over the, I would say, they're saying it's 16%, but we had a 25% overall sell-off if you include what we've seen here from a high of 41 all the way down to 30. So that is, that's a little bit concerning. But if we can run sideways here, I'll be pretty happy. I mean, I know I'm just kind of thinking off the top of the cuff right now as we're taking a look at this. I mean, I like CoinMarketCap, how they have real-time tracking now. That's really good. So if this is your first time to Blockchain Bullz, you guys can subscribe, keep up with us. I'll try to share my thoughts on this. Again, information, not professional financial advice. We're just trying to stay in this together because I'd imagine all y'all are invested just like me, and we're just trying to figure out what's going on, where the bottom of this sell-off is, and what the play could be. But right now, if we break 30, that's going to be really concerning. If we go into the 20s, especially as that lower lows starts to build down, break down these lower lows, lower, lower, lower. We don't want to keep seeing this. So hopefully we can hold this bounce right here. I think we need to hit up above 35K for me to feel pretty good about the situation right now. And then we can kind of play around with going from 35 down to 32, back and forth a little bit. And then maybe we'll get a slingshot up. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. See you guys.